It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. Of course, our daily mission is to bring you news that you can use. Our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our 24-hour on-demand listen center, 720-721-1558. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. We are fortunate enough to catch up with one of the busiest women throughout, I won't just say the Southwestern Athletic Conference, but throughout women's basketball. And that's none other than Coach Sandy Pugh. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Mike, doing great, doing great. Happy to be on today.
Well, we're happy to have you on. It's a lot going on, a whole lot going on. And I don't even know where to begin, but let's talk about the hottest thing going on. You have a new competitor to come over to the conference in the likes of PVAMU, FAMU. Not a lot of history of recent, but now you get a chance to possibly add two more basketball games on your regular season slate. What is your overall viewpoint of having a new member school join forces with you?
You know, we had a head coaches meeting a couple of days ago, and all of the coaches had a chance to chime in, and it was interesting because a lot of voices from a lot of different places. But my thing is, I'm excited. I have a lot of kids from Florida, so it gives us an opportunity to go. If the conference, if it works out, I don't know how they're going to structure everything, but if we are to play them yearly based on the present format, then our kids will have an opportunity to go, to Florida and their families to come and see them every year. So that's great for them because I have at least 4 kids on the team this year coming up from that area. Definitely a concern for basketball as far as budget because you figure that's going to be a significant amount of additional funding for us to travel down there each year. And I guess if I was sitting in the AD chair from a football standpoint, the opportunity to create more rivals. FAMU traditionally travels very well from the time I was at my previous school. So I think that would, save some intriguing factors. I'm hearing it's a good fit for them. But my main concern is from a budgetary standpoint is will my budget be increased to have to go to Florida every year because I can't see staying where we are and then have an additional cost, significant additional cost with that going down there. So that would be my concern. The Rattlers are competitors. It's all, every time I go to Florida recruiting or otherwise, you always got to hear from some Rattler saying talking noise. So it's good. It's a good, I think, from a rivalry standpoint and in terms of the energy that is that this whole thing is created within the conference. I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. So have a lot of people talking. It's created a lot of chatter. So that's always good.
Yes, that's going to always be good. Now, my question is, when you think of Florida and when I do the calculations, it's about an 11-hour drive. Is that something that I know if you could, budget-wise, you would prefer to fly, but would an 11-hour bus ride seem too far stretched for a basketball game of competition?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, 11 hours. Woof, that's brutal for 6 foot, 6'2", 5'10" kids. You have to be able to stretch out those legs and knees. If anyone who's played sport, they understand. I mean, you've got to be able to stretch out, and not to mention when you get upwards of 40, your back and other areas of your body, neck.
Areas that you didn't even know existed.
Exactly. so, I mean, 18 years old might be fine, but when you start stretching into the later years, we be looking like, ooh.
Yes, yes.
We might should have flown.
Yeah, where's my ointment?
One of my friends used to have something called two old goats. It was like, oh, put this on your knee, coach. This is good stuff. you can get out there and hoop. Now I don't know about all that, but it wasn't.
That's definitely a must-have in the emergency kit. We're talking with Coach Sandy Pugh of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Now, Coach, we know recent weeks we all were notified about the APR sanctions, and it's part of the way of life as we know it now. But now that the first wave, I guess, of the cat being out of the bag, how have you all assessed the situation, and what are the plans of moving forward?
I've always said this about APR is like, they release these grand statements and people grab them and like, oh wow, wow, wow. But a lot of people don't take the time to look at the bottom line. You take, for instance, this past season, I had four seniors. And of those four seniors, two have already graduated. One graduated in December, one graduated um, in May, on both on time, one ahead of schedule. And then I have two more who are on schedule to graduate this summer. So when you look at those numbers, they're misleading. So you have to really go back and really process, the previous, because it's a 4-year cohort. So unfortunately, we were dealt, an intriguing hand that we're having to process through. But I can guarantee the alumni and all of the people out there that we will get through this and we will be back on track. Our kids are amazing. This past season, we had two kids with 4.0s. We had another seven with 3.0 or better. So the foundation and everything is in place to get this train back on the track. And I'm just really happy. Our kids have just done an amazing job, and they're going to continue to do an amazing job as they represent PVAMU on every level.
Very good. Now, when a report like this comes out, Coach, does it have an effect one way or the other when you're out recruiting? Say you might have a kid on the bubble, and does that kind of slow that process down for them making their decision?
Not really, because I think most kids look at it from their own perspective. Kids, the APR has been around a long time, so people who are involved tend to see it from, oh, this is someone who was here 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So they understand that that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with them unless it's dealing with the cohort. I just need to get in there. And we talk to our kids all the time about doing your job, making sure that people come behind you not the people who come behind you should be benefiting from your having been here, and not the other way around. So we stress that the kids are very familiar with APR. We talk to them all the time about it. We talk to them about the points, how it's calculated. I go through that entire process with all of my teams because I want them to know that you have a responsibility to the young lady that's coming behind you. You are your sister keeper, and if you do your job, then someone else will benefit. From your having been here, and that's important because we would like for our kids to stay connected on all levels, not just on APR, but
Right. Because the ultimate goal, and a lot of people, they really not understanding the nuts and the bolts that keeps this thing together. It's more than just one area. There are 4 or 5 different components that help make up this total APR ranking
yeah.
from my understanding and research of it. And so,
Well, they tell you that it represents a 50% graduation ratio, and actually it represents more like a 90. So, when you look at our numbers right now, if all four of those kids graduate, that's 100%, right?
right.
But that number,
that's what my PV
yeah,
math taught
no,
me.
they both graduate. But when you look at our APR score, it'll show 100%. It's going to show whatever a kid left or a kid, didn't get her 12 hours or her 24 hours in this period of time, or if a kid who was here 3 years ago in that 4-year cohort fails to complete or graduate within a 10-semester rule. So there's a lot of dynamics built into that. And so a lot of people don't understand it. So a kid can graduate in 11 semesters, but cost you an APR point because she didn't graduate in 10.
Wow.
So, yeah. So when people look at that, with the ones people who understand APR get it. The people who don't, they tend to get a little inflamed when they see these reports come out in numbers. But there's a lot that goes into that, a lot. So, but like I said, I'm not going to get into all that. But the bottom line is we're happy with where we are and the progress that we've made. PV has recently hired a academic counselor. Thank God, a director. He's doing an amazing job. We're working with him on a weekly basis to put together our improvement plan and go down this road together. So I'm really excited about that and looking forward to the growth and the continuous progress.
Does this change your recruiting approach as far as bringing in new talent? Because the game is always about recruiting, and you could have, I'm going to say, a bubble kid who, if you got 5 points of what you look for, and they might be qualifying 3 of those 5 points, but the 2 points of whatever they would be on your scale, does that make you a little less hesitant than to go to one who might have 4 or 5 of the points, but not as much talent?
Definitely, Mike. I mean, no doubt about it. We have these conversations daily on our Zoom calls with our staff. Coach Dave, hubcaps as you call it.
Yeah.
Because Dave might have someone, coach, this kid's transfer and she has, this GPA and she's coming from a Power 5 and, we want to take a look at her, but, we have to put her into our complete dynamic and look at the big picture. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's made more than a few coaches rethink and hesitate about kids, and it's unfortunate because I've always been a believer in that. Part of my responsibility as a coach is to be here to help kids, and in some cases even give them a second opportunity, and put things in their path to help them wherever possible. Kids come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, whether mom and dad may or may not be there, grandma might be raising them, so they might not have had the same resources you or I might have had available to us. But it saddens me that a lot of those kids are not being given an opportunity anymore because of, you have to be cognizant of APR and what that kid could potentially cost you. So it's a different time. When I first started with Southern, we didn't hesitate to take chances on those kids because we knew we could work with them. We knew we could create leadership opportunities within our program for them to try to get them on track. But that day has changed.
It has changed significantly, and when you really think about it, in particular that of the HBCU blueprint, the schools were designed on purpose to help people in disadvantaged situations. I'm going back thinking about what the Pac-12 did a couple of weeks ago. Well, the state of California, I should say. They have eliminated SAT and ACT scores for students to become eligible. They said the research had shown, data had shown that these tests were racially biased. And this was before everything has taken place that we're experiencing right now. And I thought that was very keen of them to get ahead of the curve, if you would, of how this thing was shaping out. How impactful, what a difference do you think it would make if some of the HBCUs were to take that lead from California and eliminate SAT and ACT scores to qualify for admission?
Now, did they eliminate based upon COVID, or is it a permanent
No, this
policy?
was permanent. This was permanent.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
this was absolutely permanent. Because at first, that's what I was thinking, and some conferences were even doing it for this year, but California said no, we're just going to do away with it altogether.
You know what? I've never been a believer in the ACT. It's kind of funny because I used to tell the story. I was like, when I was at Southern and they increased their ACT, I was like, I couldn't have got this up. I used to tell that story all the time because they had increased the test score. I only took it one time, and like you said, when I was from a single parent, no father in the house, and my mom, worked hard to provide for 5 children. So there was no funds for a vacation. Vacation in my house was going to grandma's house for a weekend. So um, I just think that the ACT and the SAT scores are biased. I've always believed that, and I've always been a proponent of the GPA and the interview. The writing of the essays, volumes. And give a kid an opportunity to express themselves and look at the full body of work, not something they did after they were up all night stressing out. And then you have to get up at 6:30 to get something to eat to be there for a test that might start at 7:30, 8 in the morning. So
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you sleepy and may or may not have eaten some of these kids. So there's a lot of dynamic that goes into that test. I mean, we literally have to coach kids on how to prepare for the SAT and ACT in some instances. So never been a proponent of the test. I'm happy to hear that California is doing that. I do know that I think Alabama State came out, and it was one other, maybe Alcorn, came out saying that because of COVID, they would not require the test score. So I think it's a good thing. I really do.
Well, very good. Now, earlier you made mention of my old buddy Hubcaps and Coach Franks. People wonder why I call him Hubcaps because he used to sell cars, and so I just call him Hubcaps. But there has been, maybe to lack of some of our listeners' awareness, staff change within your department. Would you care to share that with us?
Well, my assistant, my top guy, Coach Sean LaBeouf, he has moved on. He received a job offer from, oh guys, I forget the
Colorado.
name, Northern Colorado. Northern Colorado, and he elected to take that position. So May 31st was his last day, and we had a big send off for him, on Zoom with the kids, and they got a chance to, shed a few tears and laugh with him, and so he was really appreciative of them and their kind words, and we wish him all the best, and I'm sure he'll do an amazing job for Northern Colorado. So in the meantime, we are one coach down, and we're, uh, waiting to put that job out there, and hopefully we can hire someone amazing and keep this thing going in the direction we're going. So,
Well, I have two questions, Coach. With the projected 20% reduction, will that affect if you're able to add an additional coach? And then the latter part of that would be who's going to do my game reports now? Will that be you now?
you might get me, Mike. You might get me, Mike. Hey, you might get me, Mike. Be careful what you wish for.
Hey, look. Long as you have your 10-minute cool off, if you happen to come up short, then come on with it.
you mean you don't want me on there yelling and screaming and fussing?
No, we want to keep your dignity. We don't want to show the bad side of it. So we want to keep you nice, clean, and fresh. So you take that loose off moment, then you say, "Hi, this is Coach Sandy Pugh with Prairie University with our basketball recap." So that's how you handle that.
I promise I'll be good. I'll behave myself, Mike.
Okay.
But
Now,
now, right now, I mean, Coach Pete has, there is a hiring freeze at PVMU. But we're hopeful that that situation will alleviate because, I think that a lot of the scenarios that, that they originally thought might not come to pass. So we might have more resources than we thought. I just think they were being, a bit very guarded as well they should be. in this instance because the COVID has just really been, this has been a booger. So, but Coach Pete has given me, she and I have been in communication, so I'm just waiting for her guidance on when it's going to be the best possible time for us to proceed, and hopefully that'll be sooner than later, and we can, go ahead and get that going because that's a vital part. That chair is basically my right and my left in some instances. So I really, really need that person there. So we have a couple of people in mind that we're looking at. So I don't need everybody sending me their emails and oh, I know this dude in New York and Coach he's the best. We have a couple of people in mind because there's a lot of dynamics that go into it, from computer literacy and a lot of the software that we use. They have to have a knowledge of all these things and recruiting contacts, not just coaching. So there's a lot that goes into it, but hopefully we'll know more soon.
Okay, and speaking of the recruiting, are you still tying some loose ends as far as sealing up the final touches for this year's recruiting class?
We are. I'm holding one to my chest, Mike. I'm in no hurry.
You holding out on us, Coach?
We signed. We signed for two were re-signed, and but we signed a point guard that we think is just amazing. Quick leader, passer. And the point guard position has just been critical. I thought Erin did a good job for us, but the learning curve for her to get where she was for the end of the year, and then she wasn't able to play in the tournament. And NIT really hurt us. This past year, I just never thought we ever found a groove with the point guard. And then the two that we had in the position got hurt, so we just thought that was a critical piece for us. So we got the Gandy kid, and then we have a little high school kid coming in that's standing about 5'10", who played the position, did a great job for her team, who's local. But the Gandy kid is just a passer, rebounder, one of the top, if not the top, PG out of the state of Mississippi, JUCO region. She's at East Mississippi. We used to call it Scuba. Quick, floor general, can guard 94 feet. Looks to pass first and score second. Can't say enough about her. Tabria Gandy. Tiffany Tullis, 5'10" kid, athlete, great size, rebounder, tough, winner, high IQ. Played for one of the premier AAU programs in the state of Texas. So just really, I just feel blessed, Mike. I just feel like the staff did a great job of recruiting. We went after some kids, and we were able to close on the kids we wanted. So just really excited about this year coming up. Geraldine Smith is a kid that we signed last year that the NC2A had a hiccup on one of the classes she took out of high school, so she ended up going to Tyler for a year. And now she's back. She'll be sitting out this year, though, as a type of gray shirt. But she was a big-time athlete, lefty, 6 foot. Toy Smith is another kid that we signed last year, but she promised her grandmother and mom that she was going to graduate from JUCO, and she kind of wavered on coming as opposed to sitting out a year and finishing school. So she elected to sit out and finish, but she's going to be back with us. So we're just, like I said, we're blessed. Got some great kids coming in. I signed Alana, Trinity Curry, Trinity Hudson, 6'5", 6'4", Jasmine Dixon, 6'3". So got a lot of great pieces. Got to, put this puzzle together and get a coach in here who can help us, and I think we can do some amazing things.
Well, it sounds like that year 3 is going to be the Pew crew that we've been accustomed to seeing at Southern for so many years. And it sounds like to me, Coach, I'm not trying to reveal your hand or nothing, but you're going to be showing and displaying a lot of 3-guard play in the coming future.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the biggest team I've ever coached. I'm going to be honest with you. At Southern, we took a lot of sleepers, and we were big on player development. This team here is, I mean, a lot of these kids are well known out there in the recruiting circuit. And everyone's like, man, y'all can pull it together. You're gonna be a pretty solid team, coach. And so I'm excited about it. And I can sit here and talk all day about kids' athleticism and project what they may or may not bring to the table. Well, I just have to reiterate that they're amazing women. When you're sitting on these Zoom calls and all they're talking about is this Black Lives Matter and what else can we do and how can we help coach and jonesing on each other and I'm ready to get back to campus. I can't wait to get back to campus. I miss PV. And so it's an amazing group of young ladies, and I just think the Prairie View alumni and I think they're really going to embrace these young ladies and just still wholeheartedly embrace their success or struggle or whichever way it goes, because I just think they're just going to identify with each and every one of them. We got kids coming from Mississippi and Florida. We got quite a few that we signed here in Texas and Arkansas, Louisiana. So it's just going to be an amazing time, and I hope people will come out and support these kids.
Well, Coach, I think that is off to a great turnaround, and thank you for rendering the service, the time, and always making yourself available here with us at the open mic. And tough situations bring out the goodness and greatness in leadership, and you're displaying that right now. And I want to give you some closing thoughts and comments as we get ready to shut today's segment down.
Hey, in 1964, Sam Cooke said a change is going to come. So it's time. We're putting together a phenomenal team. The culture is here. Our kids are poised and ready to go. They want to support Prairie View. They want to represent the highest, whether it's on the court or in the classroom. And I'm just grateful and thankful that Prairie View gave me an opportunity to be a part of it. And we just want to do our best and represent PV, the purple and gold, the MAC.
Well, are you going to sing a little bit of Change is Going to Come?
I can't sing, Mike. If I could, I'd have bust out on the song already. I'd have hit that like Obama singing that Amazing Grace. Come on now, I would have already hit that.
Well, you can. I mean, it don't matter if you can sing or not. If you can say the words, that's powerful enough. Give us a little bit of it, Coach, before we get out of here. Just a little bit of it.
Mike, I was born by the rip. I have to rap it, Mike.
I got you. Well, while you rapping, I'm going to be tapping. How does that sound? She is Coach Sandy Pugh of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers women's basketball program. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, we want to thank you guys for joining in with us. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. And our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.